Hello, 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 everyone. Super excited to be here today. We are going live and we are on 95. We are here in Florida and I'm super excited. Let me just do one thing. Why don't we do me a favor? If you're watching this live, put a number one and where you're watching this from. And if you are watching on replay, put replay and a number two and where you are watching from. So I am super, super excited. I'm going to share this amazing, amazing replay with our Facebook community as well. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I am sharing right now. Drop me a note. I want to see how you are doing. It's been a long journey for me to get to this point today, and I am definitely celebrating because 25 years is not an easy task in a marriage. And so I'm going to share some wisdom that can possibly help you. And it could possibly put a plant of hope if you're going through something, because we went through a lot of stuff. And let me just one second, and I am going to share it right now. Perfect. I am just posting into our warriors and queens community. Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you for plugging in today. My name is Yvette Uloa. I am the founder of Warriors and Queens. My husband and I founded this company in 2020, and I'm here to share a little story. I grew up in Bolivia. I was born in New York, but grew up in Bolivia with amazing, amazing parents. I didn't have my biological dad growing up, but my mom married my stepdad, and I had a beautiful, beautiful father and mother growing up. And so, but I was insecure. I had lots of insecurities. And if you've ever had an insecurity, just put in the chat insecurity, because we're going to get real today. We're going to get raw, and I'm going to give you guys 25 years of wisdom, some of the best information packed into 25 minutes. So I'm going to give you guys some of the best lessons I have learned in my marriage, being married for almost 25 years. The day after Thanksgiving, we celebrate our anniversary. So put anniversary in the chat. Celebrate with me. Put a number 25, because I truly did not ever think that I would get to being married for 25 years. And I definitely did not think about being happily married for 25 years. So I live in Florida right now, and I absolutely love life. My husband and I are just in awe of what God has done in our lives. And if you are a believer like we are, He had His hands all over us, because we are hard-headed. We have made many mistakes. We have not been a child of God at many times in our lives. We have not followed the mission that He had on this earth for us. So I wanted to share this today. And please do comment. Put a number one if you're watching this live. Put a number two if you're watching this on replay, and also where you are watching from, because I just love to hear and see every one of your comments. And so what happened is that I was very insecure, and I went through some things as a child that, maybe a child should not have ever gone through. And so because of that, I was very insecure. I was very insecure. All my relationships were with dysfunctional men. I was very insecure. I needed to almost feel like needed to control them. And if you have ever been in a situation where you just wanted to protect yourself, I was always protecting myself no matter what. So put in the chat, protect. And we're going to show you guys three things today from my 25 years of wisdom. So, uh, as I entered one of my serious relationships around college time, I had a very narcissist boyfriend. And have you ever had a relationship where you're just like, why am I even here? But sometimes you don't feel like you can leave, or maybe you feel like you almost deserve that, or you just feel like, oh, he has potential, and so I really, really want to stay with him because I know he's going to be a better man. And so my ex-boyfriend was that person, and he was not nice, and I stuck around. I took care of him. I paid for much of his stuff. Ladies, anybody relate? I was like, that's just what you do. Like, I didn't know any better. I At the beginning he paid for some things, but then as we started dating more, I was the caretaker. I was the making sure that he was okay. I was driving him around. And so he started drinking a lot. Then he cheated on me. He did some things that are just not acceptable in a relationship. And so I finally broke up with him after a lot of pain, after a lot of, reading a lot of books, attending, going to therapy. And so by the time my husband showed up, I was extremely guarded, super guarded, so much that I had armor around me. Like, you dare hurt me, I will cut you. I mean, I wouldn't cut him, but the energy of like, I will protect myself because I don't know who you are. And if you've ever been in a situation, just drop me a note. Let me know, what was it like when you're just always walking around with this armor? It's exhausting to be protecting ourselves all the time because we don't have somebody that we trust or that we know will protect us. So, wisdom number one that I learned as I got to know my husband at the beginning, he was the man in the relationship. He would take care of me, he would honor me, he would treat me right, he would like drive me. But little by little, I started asserting my leadership on top of his. And then we started colliding and we started bumping heads. And then I learned that I was a frog farmer. Didn't know what that was. And my coach, my teacher, shared with me because I got to a point where my marriage was not in a good place. After years, it kind of went like this. The pendulum swung. He was resentful. I was resentful. We were both passive aggressive. Our fights would last weeks. And so we were at a place where, like, okay, I love you, but I also don't like you. And I feel all this tension. We were building a business together that added a whole lot of stress. And I remember the day like it was yesterday where, I was very competitive. And I will tell you, ladies, one secret: do not compete with your man. He doesn't need another man to compete with at home. He already competes in the workplace. He already competes, in sports, in all different areas of life. What he needs is a queen that's going to support and honor him. And so that was my lesson number one. I was a frog farmer. What does that mean? A frog farmer is somebody that finds a perfectly good guy and turns him into a frog. Instead of finding a frog and kissing him and turning him into a prince, I actually did the opposite. I found a prince who had a lot of potential, and not by kissing him, but by doing certain things, emasculating him, diminishing him, rolling my eyes at him, criticizing him. All of a sudden, he was at the point where he didn't want to make any decisions because I didn't like it. And so, why would he even try? Because I was so difficult to please. So, ladies, number one lesson that I learned in my 25-year marriage: do not frog farm your partner. Do not turn him into this little by criticizing him, diminishing him, making him wrong. There are ways to give feedback to a man that is received and that has honor and respect, and you actually turn a prince into a king rather than turn a prince into a frog. And so when I learned this work, and that's why we started our company of Warriors and Queens, I learned to stop emasculating him. I learned to stop criticizing him. I learned that all he wanted to do was be my hero. And by the way, you do this enough to a man that he will go from trying to make you happy to trying to not make you mad to finally planning his escape because he can't make you happy. Even if he loves you, he will leave. So, ladies, you do this enough until he just goes, okay, I guess I can't please you. I can't make you happy. There are ways we teach in Warriors and Queens on how to honor somebody in a way that uplifts them and makes them better. And so that's lesson number one. Lesson number two. How many of you have been in an argument? Put in the comments, argument. And being in an argument can create massive chaos in a relationship. Our arguments were so fiery because I'm a Latina, he's a Latino, we're both from New York. And so there was fire. And I was a dragon, he was he's a Scorpio, he bites, and I put fire in his face, and that was our fight. And then we were so exhausted and we didn't talk for 2 weeks. Well, here's what we learned. There are two parts of us. One we call human animal. That's our instinct when we're just reactive. And then, right now during the elections, everybody was reactive and yelling at each other and insulting people and things. You saw crazy things on social media from people that say that they are, loving, honoring people, but they're insulting people or saying all kinds of weird things behind closed doors on Messenger. And then playing victim, right? And so that's our instinct. And then there's something that we call human spirit. I call that illuminated by the Holy Spirit. In our frameworks that we teach at Warriors and Queens, that is where inspiration is. That is where creativity is. That is where choice is. Where you're like, I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond from a place of power. I'm not going to let that person live rent-free in my head. I'm going to come from a place of power. And so choosing that when there's an argument or a conflict or a fight where you can both step into your highest self, and instead of being reactive and fighting and getting triggered, you both choose what we call human spirit or the gift of the Holy Spirit. And so when that illumination comes your way, you take a deep breath. Lesson number two, somebody has to go first. This is one of the biggest lessons that we have learned. And actually, one of our students coined that term of somebody has to go first. Just don't waste any more time. You're going to be married to him anyway. Just make that choice. And so Dave and I, we take turns. It's not like it's your turn. It's like, but sometimes we both go first of going, you know what? I'm sorry. I got out of hand. I got out of control. I got overexcited. I'm sorry. I could see your point. Whatever that is. Step into human spirit and choose to have a great marriage. Don't live in reaction and in victim mode and victimville, because you will never go anywhere in your marriage with not going first and just, what, he should come to me. Those are some of the things that we hear sometimes, and people don't understand. We both played in the battle. We both showed up to the battle. Somebody has to go first. So step into what we call human spirit and just pause and love the person and let your ego get removed out of your marriage, because ego stands for edging God out. Edging God out. And by the way, if you're new to the webcast, thank you for coming. Please drop your name. If you're watching this live, put a 1. And if you're watching this on replay, put a number 2. And where you are watching from, I would love to say hi. So somebody has to go first is lesson number 2. And then my third lesson, and this is one of my favorite lessons, and I teach all the ladies that are in our Facebook group this information. And by the way, if you are not part of a Facebook group, we have lots of free training on having great relationships. You would be blown away how much your life quality of life increases by you having a great relationship with your soulmate. If you're single, you actually meet the right person, get rid of the wrong person. With your children, with your parents, with your coworkers, you can have a completely different life in the next 2 years if you learn these frameworks that I'm sharing. Because I'm packing 25 years of wisdom into a few minutes today. But guess what? There's more. And I want to give it to you. And I'm going to give it to you for free, because I care that this world becomes better. I will give you the basics for free. And then if you're ready for that next level, you can become one of our students. But we have lots of freebies in our Facebook group. So just drop the word Facebook if you want to get into our Facebook group. If you are already in our Facebook group and you're ready for your next step, put free master course in the comments, and we will send you our 3-video uh, master course with an ebook so you can learn some of these frameworks so that you can have an extraordinary relationship. So let's go to number 3. Number 3 is setting him up to be successful. And by the way, this is not just good for you with your man or a possible boyfriend that you might be dating. This is good with your kids. This is good with your coworkers. Most people live in the world of assuming something, assuming they already know what you mean or what you want. And especially with men, their wiring is different than that of a woman. Men have 10 to 30 times more testosterone than women do. Women have a lot more estrogen, so we're very connected to our emotions. Men are very connected to their minds. Now, with us women, we've trained ourselves to be connected to our minds and to operate in our masculine most of our day because that is what this world requires, and that is fantastic. But there is this other part of us that is phenomenal. There's this other part of us that is our superpower that we don't tap into enough. And so setting him up to be successful. What does that mean? One time I was at a seminar and Dave said, "What do you want?" I'm going to go to the coffee shop in the break. So I said, "Oh, okay, great. I'll text you what I want." So this is actually how we got tuned into this work that we now teach at Warriors and Queens. So Dave said, "Okay, text me." So, I'm in just distracted mode. I'm talking to everybody, my girlfriend here. I'm taking notes. I'm at the seminar. It's the break time. And I forgot to text Dave. I guess he called me multiple times. My phone was on vibrate. I didn't hear. And so he comes back 15 minutes later when the break is over, fuming. He's so angry. He's like, "Why couldn't you, pick up your phone or text me and you forgot, whatever?" And I was like, what a jerk. Like, don't give me attitude. I forgot. So what? Right? That was the frog farming that we talked about in wisdom number 1. I gave him attitude. And then my friend comes up to me. She goes, "Do you realize Dave was trying to be your hero? And you completely diminished him. And you completely did not give him a chance to win. And you did not set him up to be successful." I was like, I could see what you are saying. And she's like, "Do you know how you keep on complaining that you don't have that love that you used to have at the beginning, that devotion, that connection? That's why." She goes, "You're completely diminishing him and you're not setting him up to succeed." And she said, "It would have been so great if you would have said, hey, this is the coffee I want, and these are all the details," because now he has a plan and he would be completely set up to be successful. And now he could come and win. He could win with you and he could be your hero. And she goes, "Do you know the more you emasculate and the more you diminish him and the more you ignore him and the more you don't set him up to win, the more of a frog he turns into and the less he's going to want to provide for you, please you, make you happy. He's just going to check out and be in the, you know what, I'll just be neutral because you know what, I can't get it right anyway." Or she goes, "Or do you want him to show up and lead your family and be a king and honor you and love you and adore you and cherish you and give you his devotion and give you that deep soul connection?" And I was like, yeah, I want that deep soul connection that I used to have at the beginning. Well, then stop doing that. Set him up to be successful. So ladies, us, with the way our brain is wired, our communication center is 3 times larger than that of a man's. Our memory is better. Like, we have the power to talk to a lady and we start taking, it's almost like an imaginary PowerPoint where we start logging. Okay, she likes gold. Okay, she likes this brand. Okay, she talked about how much she loves pumpkins for, Thanksgiving. So we start taking notes. Men don't have that. They don't have diffuse awareness. We have this ability to see, hear multiple things at once. Men do not have that because of the higher levels of testosterone. So you've got to set up your man to succeed. if it's your birthday, hey babe, I'm so excited. 2 weeks before my birthday's coming. Oh my God, you know what would make me so happy is this gift and this gift and this gift. They don't have that imaginary PowerPoint. Imagine setting him up to succeed to where he knows how to make you happy and you share the formula for keeping you happy. As a matter of fact, some of the research I'm doing when I hit 25 years old, Dave asked me, tell me how I can make you happier. Tell me the 3 things I must do every single day to just keep you so happy. And so I've been really journaling and writing down, and because I have that deep soul connection with Dave. I have that amazing love with him. And so what does that look like? Setting him up to succeed is letting him know what it is you need and want in a way that is received by him so that he can be your hero. It's not like, hey, you need to do the plates, you need to do the dishes, clean up the socks on the floor, and do laundry 3 times a week, and then I'm gonna be happy. You see, that energy does not turn any man on. It actually turns him off and it makes him into a frog. But like, hey baby, you know what? For a 25-year anniversary, there are 3 things that I would love every single day. And that would make me so happy. And what that would provide for me, it would do this and it would do that and it would do that. And oh my God, I will be happy for the next 25 and just completely set up to be your queen. You say it with that kind of energy, Dave is not going to only do those 3 things, but he's going to do 6. Since we started doing this work, he takes on projects that I don't even ask for. I used to live overwhelmed. I had 8 to-do sheets. You know, he's constantly doing, what can I take off your plate, baby? Hey, baby, I took it upon myself to make us a reservation. I'm going to take you, put on your beautiful red dress, and I'm taking you out on a hot date. That did not exist before. And so, ladies, let's talk about number 1. Honor him. Stop frog farming him. Number 2, somebody has to go first. And number 3, set him up to be a success. Those are 3 things that are small but are life-changing in a relationship. And whether you're single or married, you can apply this to your future relationship or your current relationship. And I promise you, it's going to have amazing results. Next week, our beloved Dave is going to do a Facebook Live on the 25 years of wisdom he's gotten from the male perspective so that you can put your men on the call and they can listen in and learn as well. So ladies, if you don't already have some of that master course magic or some of our stuff that we send out, we send out lots of free trainings. Drop me a note, say email, or email me privately your email so that I can put you on our private list and send you these free trainings that we do consistently because we care. We love you. We want you to have an incredible relationship. In a time where media, television shows are showing death, are showing unhappiness, in a time where commercials are telling people to lie to their wives or lie to their husbands, that's just BS. That's just crap. Be in a place where you honor, love each other so that you can have that deep soul connection and true intimacy that you deserve. So, ladies, drop your email. Let me send you that master course. And if you are already in our beautiful community, please ask for what you need. Ask for advice. Ask for, questions, anything you want. And when we do our first virtual event, which will be in the first quarter of the year, you will be the first to know. It's as long as you have given us your email. We love you. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon.